And hey, what's up, y'all? One thing I'm realizing more and more and more is that as a parent, being a parent is not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to always be easy. It's not supposed to be comfortable. And, I say that because we've all seen it. This generation of kids is just so different. And it can be frustrating, you know, when we make comparisons to how we were, our era coming up. I'm pretty much an 80s baby, coming up in the 80s and 90s. And I know that it was a different time. It was truly a different time. It just seems like when we were coming up, even as young kids, it was just this expectation that, you know, we were to be independent, that we were to be able to make the right decisions and to be able to take care of ourselves and not needing our hand, so much hand holding. And, this generation of kids, it just seems like, I don't know, developmentally, in some ways, they're a bit behind, you know? And I don't know if it's because it just seems like there's more crime, there's more violence, these things have always gone on, but, social media magnifies it. What's going on now was going on then, but, I'm learning just as a parent that it's not supposed to be comfortable, that we have to be able to ask the hard questions and have the hard conversations with our kids, even if it's not convenient. If parenting is easy all the time, you may not be doing parenting the best way or the right way. You know, you may not be. And that's not to say that parenting is supposed to be difficult. It's not. It's not supposed to be difficult all the time. Some of us are blessed to have children with personalities that are, easygoing. You know, they're not, you know, they're not hard to parent. They listen. They abide. They do the things that they know they're supposed to do, so we don't have to get on them about the trivial things, the small things. You tell them something one time and they do it, they got it, and you never have to mention it again. And then, you know, some of us have our problem children where we have to keep saying the same things over and over for them to get it. But when you look at society, you look at adults, as adults, we're just, you know, grown up children in a sense. Some of us still have the mentalities of children. And it just makes me wonder when I see people out here and the way people are, the way people act, the way people behave. It's just like, it's obvious that some of them weren't raised. Kind of like the comedian T.K. Kirkland used to say, who raised you? And that's a fair question. You know, some of these adults are grown children that were not raised. They were never taught accountability. There was never a level of expectation. There was never any responsibility. There was never anything, you know? And now they're adult in age, but they're not adult mentally. They're not adult emotionally. And that's, that just comes from, your upbringing. And this is why I try very hard to establish a level of expectation and accountability and my own, even though sometimes it hurts me to do so, because I know it's not fun. I know it's not pleasurable, but long term, that's what's going to help them. It's going to help them in the long run. Kids need to know that the world is not going to bend to your will. You're not going to always get your way just because you pout or just because you don't like something or you don't want to do something. They're going to grow up and enter into the real world where no one's going to care. No one cares about what you want. No one cares about what you like or dislike. No one cares. And I think a part of that is, reason why this generation is having such a hard time. I'm seeing, videos, and I'm seeing articles about this generation of, young adults. I don't know if Gen Zers, I don't know, what it is, but they're having a hard time maneuvering in the world, knowing how to maneuver. And they're giving up on life so early. They're in their 20s and they're just giving up on life. And I think a part of it is because they didn't receive character building discipline. They didn't, we got our butts whooped. Whatever our mama could grab when I was coming up, and it wasn't abuse. If your mama, if there was a hanger, she'd grab it. If it was a hairbrush that she had in her hand, and you got flipped with the mouth or whatever, you was gonna feel that, and it was not abuse, but it was to let us know and to check us on behavior that our parents felt we shouldn't have displayed. And for these past generations, I really don't believe that kids have gotten that. Parents have become more laxed, don't want to deal with their kids, do not have the time, do not have the energy, and they're doing what's comfortable and doing what's convenient. And long term, that only hurts. That only hurts our kids because they're not going to be children forever. I've had to have some tough conversations with my own sons, particularly my oldest. He's a young adult now, he's in college, and just him becoming more aware of how the world works, and being in school and having roommates and being on campus and being around other people from different backgrounds, people of other, personalities and ethnicities, and him just kind of seeing, more now, being aware of things more now. And I've had to, when he has a complaining spirit, I've had to let him know. I've had to put that mirror up to his face and say, hey, you have to look at yourself. You have to look at the energy that you're putting out there. You have to, check your vibe, check your spirit. And it hurts for me to say that to him because I empathize with him because he's more introverted, he's more reserved, in personality like myself. It hurts for me to have to tell him, man, look, you got to have some accountability. If you're not seeing what you want, if you don't have the social circle or, whatever, you have to check yourself. You have to be likable. You have to be sociable. People aren't just going to kiss your butt and just walk up to you and say, hey, you want to be friends? Preschool is over. And so you're going to have to put some effort into it. You're going to have to be likable. You're going to have to be approachable. You're going to have to show some interest. You're going to have to do some things that's a little bit out of your personality to get what you want, because it's not just going to fall in your lap. There's so many things as parents that we got to tell our children. We have to guide them, we have to rear them, and we have to do it the best way possible, because we're not going to be here forever. And what's left is going to be the principles and values and the gems and the things that we instilled in them. That's what they're going to carry on for the rest of their life. And when they have children, they're going to impart some of that on them, you know? And so we got to make it count. We got to, we got to, have fun with our kids, you know, have fun, do the things, create, great lasting memories, but we can't forget to be parents. And being a parent doesn't always mean being likable, being the fun parent, being the parent that's always there and always there to back them up and clean up their messes and things like that. We can't always do that. So we got to think long term. We got to think about the type of adults we want them to be. And we got to do what's not easy. We got to do what's not comfortable. And we got to do what's not convenient. Bottom line, if we want them to grow to be the best people that they can be, for themselves, for society, for their future family. So, yeah. But other than that, we all just doing as best we can, with what we have. And as long as we keep doing our best, as long as we continue to grow as humans so that we can be better humans for the people closest to us and in society, I think we'll be just fine. So just keep going, y'all. Keep going.